Welcome to Unscripted Gaming. My name is Josh.
My name is Mike.
My name is Ray.
We're back. This is one AS. Year 1 AS. Year 1 after Switch.
Fuck you, Josh. God damn. Can you be normal?
Yeah.
You know that nobody ever does that for anything. You know that, right?
Yeah, ever.
Well,
It is the most original of original jokes.
then we started a new trend, guys. The internet is
what-
going to be awash with more jokes like this. Like this is Genesis.
The year of all Switch 2017.
Yep.
While we're being original, we should also pitch Sony a new Ghostbusters movie idea. I have a plan, guys. What if the movie was like the 80s one, but it sucked in every capacity known to man? How about that? What do you guys think? $1 million idea.
I think that'll sell.
I think
I thought that Ghostbusters movie was all right. I thought
it was a travesty compared to the.
Wait. When did we get on the movie? How did I get on the movie podcast? I thought this was
I know.
on video
I haven't even
games.
told you guys the title of our movie podcast yet. It's pretty great. But we don't have to plug that here. It's okay.
A secret drop later. It's gonna be. It's coming hot.
Creed got
Make
robbed.
sure you follow us on social media, and you'll find out. Ha ha ha.
So, gentlemen, about 6 days ago from the recording of this,
Nothing's really been going on in the video game world the last week or so. I mean, you know.
Josh, you can't bury the lead after you've led in with an awful joke. That just
Ray, if we've not learned anything by doing this podcast, is I can do whatever the hell I want.
You are in Trump's America.
You can bury a lead so
Fucking
deep
right.
you'll never find it. Hey, you know what, Ray? Just tell us about your damn Nintendo Switch already.
Okay, so
Just tell us.
At first, when it came out, bear in mind, I pre-ordered it the day after the conference from Amazon. So for those of you
Ray
who know,
was
you
a
already know where
casualty
this
in the
is going.
great Amazon war of the Switch launch.
But was I really? Because it was awful in that I didn't get it.
No,
I was
you
like,
kinda
the fuck
won.
is going on? And then I'm going to be very clear to everyone. One, I don't recommend you ever bother a customer service agent for any company ever, because it is literally someone who might not even be in your country, just trying to do their job and make a buck and get by.
They are
So
people, so...
Yeah, they're human beings. Just fuck off with like people that call in and want to like bite their head off. Just stop that. So I was very polite. All I said was, hey, my item did not come. I am a Prime customer, so I pay a decent amount of money per year to have like updates and to make sure I get shipped on time, and there was guaranteed shipping on this item. I just want to have a shipping update on my item because it said it would be in my hands by 8 p.m. and it is 8:10. And she was very polite. She was very kind. I didn't get her name, and I'm not even going to give her name because it's in my email, and there's no point in giving her name on the podcast. And she gave me a $30 credit for my inconvenience. And then her manager contacted me back via email and said, we are very pleased to help you. We respect the fact that you were kind and you were very caring. And we see that you're a Prime customer. And this is the first time that this has ever happened in one of your Prime orders. So to appease you, we will give you a 30% refund once you confirm with us your item is in your hand. My Switch came not that Friday, but that Monday, and I contacted them, said my item is in my hand, and they gave me the $100 off this brand new video game console. So
That is not an insignificant amount of money to be removed from the price of a brand new piece of hardware.
That's pretty, again, it's kind of frustrating. You missed a couple days.
Yeah, because I wanted to spend those days playing the new Zelda game, of course.
Oh my god. But yeah,
We'll get to
that's
that,
really
Mike.
cool that they made it right.
Steal yourself.
That's really cool.
And on top of that $30 credit, so I guess I got Breath of the Wild for $30 off. Honestly, in the terms of Amazon, I can't complain. Now, in the terms of Nintendo or Amazon, I'm curious, were they just shortchanged Switch orders? Were they... Me and Josh got into this really big discussion over what might have happened, and of course we're just like assholes speculating back and forth, but
yeah,
I would be very curious to know the actual answer, because we're
they
coming
totally
on a
were.
week. Shut up, Mike.
I
Mike
just
was
want
hiding in
to
the
put
corner
this out
like
there for
mommy
all
and
of the
daddy were
listeners. It
fighting.
was definitely asshole speculation back and forth between them. They're just like, oh, parents fighting again. All right,
Well,
I'm out.
okay.
Okay.
The one thing I will say in my defense was was that I was right. Other than that, yeah, you're right.
What the fuck?
I mean, you can't argue with that.
No, I mean, I just said it on the internet, so obviously it must be true. I mean, yeah.
So I got...
How does it feel to get dunked on? I'm sure it feels not good.
Stop.
I'm sure it actually feels bad.
Stop. Okay, so the console shipped to me in perfect working order. Breath of the Wild shipped with me in perfect working order.
Did you lick it yet?
I have not licked it yet because too many people are confirming that it stays. Apparently, for those of you that
You
don't
should
know,
lick it live on the podcast right now.
just to show you guys what it's like.
Yeah, just let's do. We're gonna do on this audio only podcast. We're gonna do some of the best content. Hashtag content we've ever done.
Thank you.
A live licking
Okay,
of a Switch cart.
I
So for
kind
those
of
of
I
you
don't know
that
how I
don't
feel
know,
about
the
this.
Switch is coated in a chemical which name I forgot to prevent children from choking on it because once you put it in your mouth, apparently it's just this heinous chemical.
They use
So a
it
lot
on
of
other
people
stuff.
are
They use it
licking
on like they use it for kids to stop biting their nails, and I think it's similar to like the bitter agent that they put in cans of air and stuff like that to keep kids from getting high.
I don't know if I can watch this. I don't want to.
See, it doesn't smell like anything.
Oh my god. No.
But then,
Okay.
No.
Okay. I haven't done this, and I'm gonna do it for you guys. So I'm taking one for the team. This is the second
jeez.
time I've served my
I
country.
can't-
This is
I
for
can't
our
do this.
fans.
I can't watch.
I'm
Okay,
I'm
you
watching.
see my tongue out. You see my tongue out right now.
Yeah, I see it. I see it.
can't
Here
do
you go.
this.
Oh, there it is.
Okay, yeah, it's pretty much like Freon from
Yeah.
like an air conditioner. That's what it tastes like.
Oh,
It tastes
no.
like it tastes like what Freon from an air conditioner would taste like.
Yum,
I-
yum, yummy.
Okay, so yeah, it's bad. Yeah, I'm not gonna freak out about it, but yeah, it tastes.
I'm gonna laugh
like...
when we're like a half hour into the show and Ray just goes. Because
No, don't get me wrong. It's pretty goddamn awful. But like, if any child put this in their mouth, that thing is gonna immediately come out. It tastes like canned air. Is what it tastes like.
Yep.
It tastes like what you think canned
This
air
is
would
a
taste like.
professional podcast.
Oh, okay. Well, while we're talking about that, how many professionals are live on stream with millions of followers licking it live?
Yep.
We just did it on the audio.
That makes it even better because there's no visuals. We all know that the internet is definitely a listening place. They don't like to look at things.
It's an audio.
I
It's an auditory experience.
Yeah.
I want to get into like a lot of the positives of
Switch cart
because
ASMR.
having it for not 6 days. I've had it for 4 days now. There's a lot of positives about this. Fuck you, Josh. But can we go ahead and just real quick, like maybe 10 minutes, just get all the negatives out because there's quite a bit of negatives. One, people have cracked open the dock and there's nothing in that dock worth $90. There's nothing in that dock worth $60.
So the thing I will in the dock's defense, similar USB-C to HDMI like converter cords or boxes cost in that ballpark. So while it is a very stripped down and bare bones thing, that is the current going price for the specific power and HDMI pass through or conversion like cable. So you're not wrong. That cable shouldn't cost that much, but it does. And it
I love
costs
how you're not even calling it like the setup. You're just calling it the cable because it's essentially what it is.
I mean, yeah, that box is there to provide power and to put it into a TV. Like that, it doesn't do anything. Like
it can't do anything else.
Somebody will eventually get a cord to work on it. They've tested it and it doesn't now, but somebody will get a USB-C to HDMI to work on that thing at some point. They may have to jerry-rig it to get some extra power because I think that's probably where the issue lies, is that it doesn't get the power so it doesn't push the HDMI. But somebody will do that where you can get it in without a dock. It's just a matter of time.
All right. That out of the way, the $90 dock cost out of the way. Left control Joy-Con desync issue. It's happened to me. It's happened to everyone I work with. It's not a software issue. It's straight hardware issue. And Nintendo's answer to this is don't have your cell phone on near it or be near anything that emits
or a microwave or a Wi-Fi router
or a TV.
Probably like a Roomba.
They also said an aquarium. On their official website, it says that one's just odd. I don't get that one.
The aquarium thing.
Damn Wi-Fi fish.
The aquarium thing, you know what?
Damn Wi-Fi fish.
I'm going to drop some knowledge on you guys. Share this with your friends. The reason the 2.4 gigahertz frequency is free for Wi-Fi and stuff like that is because that's the same frequency as water. So it's a junk signal, and that's why it's so short range. But that's why a body of water can also cause interference with it. So,
I mean, that's cool and all, but
that's why that's
super cool. What?
That's why that spectrum's
amazing.
free. Because if it wasn't free, you know, somebody would have snatched that up and used it. But that's bad spectrum.
I'm about to blow your mind, Josh. There are multiple videos of people online just inserting just a strip of metal as an antenna, and now the Joy-Con works like 40 yards away from the.
Yeah, I've seen
switch.
that.
Yes.
People have done teardowns and just soldered an additional small antenna to the board.
Just a cheap piece of metal. Because the actual Switch, the Joy-Con motherboard is sitting on top of the Joy-Con, and thus that's acting as the antenna, as opposed to putting an actual antenna into it. So it's just poor build quality. That's all it really comes down to.
I guess the big question here is, I mean, because Nintendo's acknowledged that it is an issue. I wonder if, you know, a month from now they're mailing left Joy-Cons out to everybody.
I'm assuming so.
I'm curious to see how that'll unfold, because that is, you know, or if they make a kind of a stealth hardware revision on it. That sounds like something that would be they would probably like to address. I imagine
later Switches will come out with additional antennas in the Joy-Con to keep that from happening, but I don't know what they'll do for the current model. You know, they're gonna put out one of the wrist strap nubbins with additional antenna in the
with an antenna in it. Yeah. It's not even like subtle. It's actually just an antenna hanging out of it. Oh! Can we talk about the wrist straps? I don't know what they're called. The Joy-Con whatever things that snap onto the top of it.
Like the snap.
Don't put them in backwards.
Extender.
Holy
thing.
shit! I did that. Holy fuck!
Apparently, if you own a Switch, you put that thing in backwards.
Because there's nothing indicating that you're putting it in wrong until you look at it. You're like, oh yeah, if you look really close, you'll see a very tiny plus or a minus, and you're supposed to line those up with the Joy-Cons. But there's nothing in the instruction manual. Because I have the Switch instruction manual, and it's not an instruction manual, it's just a health and safety guide. All the instructions you're supposed to have is on the box, and all the box tells you is, here's how you hook HDMI to your TV, here's how you hook power to your AC, your Switch is good to go, have fun. It doesn't tell you about the wrist strap thingy, and then when you find out, you're like, holy shit, I need to be Hercules to get this out, or I'm going to break this, because it locks in the fucking place. You can't get that thing off without, like, either a tool or some actual like strength coming off.
It reminds me of the Galaxy Note 5 a few years ago, where if you put the stylus in backwards, the internal tooth would catch it.
You don't have a stylus anymore.
I never had a Note 5, so this didn't happen to me. But you bet your ass when I heard about it, if I had it, I'd have done it. But like the way the tooth mechanism worked, that caught the stylus, would catch something on the other side and wouldn't let go, and then basically the only way to get it out was to break it. And oops.
Oh boy.
Yeah, not happening.
Moral of the story is hardware's not easy.
You know, for a brand new console that came out, I expected a little bit better from Nintendo because they typically make their consoles idiot-proof, but holy shit, that Joy-Con wrist strap thing is not idiot-proof. It's not intellectual proof. It's just, did you put that in exactly the way we told you? Well, no, this is my first time.
It's almost more of an idiot trap. It's like an idiot pizza party, just encouraging all the idiots.
All right. Let's power through because I want to get all the negatives out of the way, and I want to get to the glorious positives. Software crashes for the system, they are frequent. It actually one happened to me before we started recording. Like, nothing's worse than you're trying to play some fast RMX racing on the... And it's only happened to me when I'm in portable mode. when you're trying to play a game and all of a sudden software has crashed. Why? They don't give you error codes. They don't tell you what happened. They're just like, this game's closed. Goodbye. Fuck off. And I don't know what's causing that, and I hope that's just fixed with like constant system update and patches. But that's fine. I have tested, and this is the last bit of negativity, I swear. Maybe. I have tested the online features, and I realize it's in trial right now, but how dare they think anyone should ever pay money for what they're offering? One, friend codes are back, and they're back in a big bad way. You know how Matomo at least let you sync your Facebook account? They don't even give you that option here. To their credit, they will say, have you played Matomo? The Switch asks you, have you played Matomo? If you say yes, you can drag all your friends from Matomo and add them to your Switch friends list.
Okay.
Now that stuff is coming. That stuff will come eventually, but it's not there right now.
You hope. I hope. We all hope. There's nothing you can do with the online. So me and a couple of my coworkers own the game Fast RMX Racing, which when we get to the good stuff, I'm just going to gush about. I saw my friends online playing Fast RMX Racing, and that's all I can do. I can't send them a message. The game has no messaging. I can't poke or ping them. I can't invite them to my game, or I can't jump into their game of Fast RMX Racing. All I can do is just see.
What if though, Ray, I could sell you a device, just like a little mini Switch, maybe about a fourth of the size.
Oh no.
Something with a way to connect.
Oh no.
To the internet wirelessly, not necessarily to Wi-Fi, but anywhere you are.
Oh no.
And then you can send a message via text to your friends with a 10-digit series of numbers.
The app is going to be like $2 on top of that, by the way. I was going to it's to hear about the online stuff, it's a very kind of, technically I guess it works.
It's a portable
It's not
device.
Exactly seamless by any stretch of the imagination, but
would it have been nice if Nintendo's online stuff had been ready for the console that they had touted as this, friendly gaming device and something you're going to play with your friends? Granted, you know what? You're not supposed to play online. You're supposed to have rooftop parties. So really, Ray, why are you playing with your friends online? Go fucking meet them on the rooftop and play.
Stop. I swear that scene was filmed in San Francisco.
Oh,
and I swear that's how they think all San Franciscans live.
Is it not? That's what I see on the TV.
Rooftop parties with Switches.
Huh. The more you know.
Yeah.
I guess rooftop parties aren't really a Midwest thing,
Hey.
It's too cold. It's too snowy.
Hey, my old, I used to live in a place where I had rooftop parties, so apparently I'm living the San Fran lifestyle, motherfuckers.
I guess so. Jeez.
Well,
Jeez.
all
What
right.
you want?
A rooftop party.
Mr. San Francisco, that's what they call me. That's my name.
No. Oh, okay. I
the
can't.
online stuff has a long way
Yeah,
to go
that
before.
stuff launches later in the year, and it's really hard to judge it right now until.
But this is the trial. This is the judgment period. This is the period where they're like, we're gonna let you try it and see if you want to buy it.
No, because they haven't launched. They haven't launched it yet.
What are you talking about? When I went into the actual online screen, it said, "Welcome to the Nintendo Online Trial Period."
Really?
It had the EULA, and it was explaining this is something that we're in the process of making. You can give it a shot for free until it gives some innocuous date. So this is me.
Oh, I thought that stuff was supposed to come a little later, and the trial would start in a couple months, and then they would go on sale. I think
no, this is the trial.
Oh.
This is the testing period, and so far I'm this is fucking abysmal. This is 1990s.
So can you play that game online with real humans?
The only online game I have, RMX Switch. Yeah, you can play it with real humans online. I did, actually.
Okay.
It worked. Actually, that's all the negatives I have, unless you guys had something.
No, I think
I
only got
most of the bases, I think.
Yeah, and I only had my hands on for maybe half hour to an hour, and I didn't experience any of the syncing issues. And I didn't put the Joy-Con wrist strap on wrong because I'm an intelligent person. But
I noticed during
let's
the
get on to the
Nintendo
positive
conference.
stuff.
During the Nintendo conference, they never showed anyone putting the wrist straps on, and now I see why. Can you imagine Ayanuma putting the wrist strap on?
Somebody fucking it up in front of all those people? Yeah, that'd have been...
Oh, man! They're like, no, you're not doing that. They're preset, here you go.
That actually is a good point. Huh.
That's something I brought up when, half of my coworkers put it on wrong. It's common to do. Trust me, when you see it, it's common. So the thing, when you slide it into the dock, it works phenomenally. It works exactly as advertised.
Yeah, so I played a friend of mine got a Switch, which thankfully convinced my wife that we need one. So I'll be getting one here, not soon, but in a couple months around the Mother Brain's birthday. I mean, my wife's birthday. Ha ha ha.
Does she know?
I don't know if she knows I called her that. Nope, she does because she edits my writing, so she definitely read that at least once. I don't know if she gets it though, so that's good for me.
Like, who is this weird lady?
But that's the first thing I did. I was like, okay, hold up, I gotta try this because I got to know, and we powered it on. I pulled it out, and I was like, oh, the thing I saw on screen was like right here in front of me, just like,
yep,
like a switch.
Oh, stop. Just stop.
So
when you place it right back on, it takes 2 seconds and you're right back up and running.
Which, again, it's something working as advertised in that fashion kind of surprised me.
Yeah.
Not going to lie.
Me too. It works as well as they showed it off. It was pretty cool. I don't know what you call it when you hook the Joy-Cons onto the pad. There's probably a word for that.
The Joy-Con grip?
The grip is extremely comfortable.
Feels surprisingly really good so. I was kind of shocked. The way that it looks awkward. But that controller as configured in the grip actually works pretty well.
Yeah, all that dead space, you don't notice it because your thumbs never go to that dead space. And the grips form to your hands, so you never notice the extra dead space in the middle. So it's good spacing. It's very good spacing for your hands. Now we could have a separate conversation about the Joy-Con grip not being charging in the box, but that is what it is. If that's a negative, that's a negative. But you have to hook up the Joy-Cons to your Switch if you want to charge them. Plus, it can't charge the Joy-Cons and the Switch at the same time. You have to choose one or the other. The system chooses for you, but nonetheless.
Yeah. What is the battery life on the Joy-Con? Like, do you feel like it's... I imagine it's pretty...
It's substantial. It's like 10 plus hours.
Okay.
It's substantial. It's a full day, we'll say. A full day of gaming, because I imagine most people don't game for more than 10 hours, even on like a bored weekend. My apologies. The eShop, when I went to it, the downloads were extremely fast. So right out the gate, I downloaded Fast RMX Racing because that looked like the F-Zero / Wipeout game I needed. And I went to the eShop. Within turning on the eShop to downloading the game fully was 10 minutes, and that is impressive.
That's nice, especially
How big's the game?
I actually don't know. I can look up in the system files and tell you.
I'd say, tell me how much that is, because that will also be very telling about the file size and how quickly that downloaded. Because if there's one thing I've heard about the other two online services for consoles is their online download speeds are not always the best.
Yes.
Now, granted, this is early on and this could change, but if they're using really good hosting and content distribution, then that's really good. I mean,
those PlayStation downloads can be pretty rough sometimes.
It's according to this, it's about a gig.
Gig in 10 minutes isn't bad at all.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, I'll take that. All right, cool.
And that was wirelessly too, right?
Oh yeah.
So yeah, that's
you don't have an option with Switch. There's no Ethernet cable connection anywhere on this thing. It's wireless or get the fuck out.
I mean,
it does have wireless AC, so it's getting the fastest possible one available.
That's pretty good.
If I can go ahead and gush about fast RMX racing, we'll get to Zelda because honestly, at this point, it speaks for itself. But fast RMX racing is so goddamn good. Oh, it's so goddamn good. Every day I walk into work, I sing its praises. Like, this is the futuristic racing game I've been looking for a long time. It doesn't have weapons. It uses thrust shifting, so you shift your thrust either from blue to orange, and there are blue or orange thrust strips on the track that'll increase your speed. So you're constantly switching to get maximum thrust. So it's a little bit of a mini game while you're racing, and that feels really, really good when you get that proper flow going throughout the game. Oh, that's a good game. That's a really solid game. It's not very feature rich. It has 20 unlockable vehicles and 50 tracks.
It has 50 tracks?
Yeah.
I was going to say, that's more than the greatest racing game of all time, F-Zero GX. Wow, I'm impressed.
F-Zero GX is pretty solid, but I am impressed with this game. I have not regretted this purchase. I might have misspoke on 50 tracks. It might be like 30.
30 tracks is still pretty good. I'll take
it's still
that.
Not bad.
That's still really good for a $20 game. I can't recommend this game enough for $20.
Oh, that's nice. I had assumed it was a full price game, but it looks pretty sharp too. Like it. You said even with split screen, it's still doing 60 frames, right?
So I played it, yes, split screen with 2 Joy-Cons, and the Joy-Con grips after I held them and raced 3 tracks in a row with them at 5 laps each. So I put in some miles. The Joy-Con grip thingies, playing them single player, they felt fine. It actually wasn't awful, but at the end of those 5 races, I could feel a little bit of hand cramp coming on. So I would not recommend it for like extended play sessions. It's clearly something you do for like maybe an hour at the most, then stop. But yes, even in split screen, it was still pulling 60 frames a second at 1080p, and it looked good. When I played multiplayer, there's 8-player multiplayer and 8-player local multiplayer. So if 2 people with switches and 8 Joy-Cons are floating around, you can have 4 on each switch, 8 players, Fast RMX Racing going, and it's still holding down 1080p, 60 frames a second, and that's just impressive.
Like, yeah, that's pretty cool. Like, I'm very skeptical of like playing games with like just the Joy-Con, but just that concept of like you could just like impromptu set up an 8-way like local multiplayer thing. That's pretty cool. Like that's pretty neat.
I speak lots of praises about this game. I speak nothing but praises. And I suppose before we get to Zelda, we could talk about the atrocity that is 1-2 Sword. $50. Do you guys know anyone that
should have been a pack-in?
I think that should have been a pack-in. I think I would have respected that game a lot more if it was a pack-in. And I probably would have liked it. Because it looks like a fun little party game you have for like on the cheap. But for $50 you could buy almost half of the library of indie games available on Switch right now. And that's a much better value proposition.
Yeah, this console seems like it's really, really well set up to be an excellent platform for indie developers and indie games, and a very good way to get many of those indie games that seem like they'd really be benefited by being both mobile and console played at homeable, consoleable, giving them that home. And I think this is going to be huge for that. But yeah, the 1-2 Switch, whatever. It happens.
I was skeptical bringing this around as a portable device, but now that I've had it in my hand for a couple days, I'm a believer. I could see myself sitting on like the BART or on the train or in an Uber and just like, I'm bored, let me whip out this and play some badass games. The battery life is suspect, It's getting only 2 hours on Fast RMX Racing, and you're not getting any more than that. And 2 hours is that is stretching it. It's like a high action game. You're just not getting anymore. But yeah,
right.
It's really good as a portable device.
Yeah.
The screen is solid.
Yeah, I mean, you can get a USB-C battery pack and have that with you, and that that'll definitely, if you need more time on your commute, those are pretty inexpensive to get these days.
I've not seen a USB-C cable anywhere. I think the only thing I know that uses it is like the new MacBook Pros, but that's about it.
Google Pixel, I think, is USB-C. There are a couple Chromebooks. There are more and more devices are going USB-C. I do believe the newest, the Galaxy S8, when that comes out, that will also be USB-C. So things are heading that direction.
I'm just glad it's not proprietary.
Mm-hmm, definitely.
Yes.
That's the big takeaway. I can walk into a Radio Shack and probably get the cable I need. It is a good takeaway. Okay. All right. You ready, Mike? No spoilers.
No spoilers, but man, we should probably talk a little. I've been playing some Zelda Breath of the Wild on my Wii U. You've been playing a little bit of it on your Nintendo Switch.
Yep.
We should keep it very very light chatting, just because Josh was really as someone who's if you are going into this game trying to actively avoid as much information as you can about this game, just do yourself a favor and just don't you dare look at anything else, because some of the things that this game does are I mean, as someone who kind of had an idea here or there of what kind of things I might encounter, I was pretty blown away with some of the moments I've had so far. And so if you don't have any clue that some of that stuff is in there, I mean, it'll be such a great experience. So if you made it this far,
I did get to play about, like I said, that half hour, 45 minutes I spent with the Switch was spent playing Zelda. And even in that short bit of time, I didn't really get much story. I got to see some of the stuff with the way the world interacts and all that. But that game is so gorgeous, and the world is so just it draws you in so fast. I mean, that's half the reason why. Actually, probably more like 3/4 of the reason why my wife wants to get a Switch. She's like, I would just like want to just watch more of that world. Like,
yeah, it's
a good spectator game.
Yeah, I accidentally ended up in an area, which is very easy to do, I might add, where I was way not supposed to be, and I kept getting my ass kicked. And she's like, I don't even care that you're getting shit on. This is just a really gorgeous game to look at.
This is the explanation that it's Dark Souls, the Zelda, is pretty apt, because that game does not give a fuck about you, and you're going to die.
It's a much more challenging Zelda than I think in the past. But definitely to what you were saying, Josh. I mean, I love the design of the world. Like I mean, just to get this point aside, when I've been playing, I've been having a little bit of framiness here and there, and that's like, there aren't a lot of times where I've been one of those people who's like, oh, this game doesn't deserve Nintendo's hardware, but like, as awesome as it would be to see this on a platform that could really keep this game at a steady pace, without some fluctuation, just the design of this game, just artistically is incredible, and with how it does such a good job of, I mean, I've also been playing a little bit of Horizon Zero Dawn lately. It's a good game. I like it. I feel like it's kind of The Witcher. It's Witcher-esque, but but in a way that I didn't bounce off of Horizon like the way I did The Witcher. And it's a very pretty game. It's very nice looking. But the world design doesn't encourage me to explore the way that the design in Breath of the Wild does. Like, you'll see something just that looks like miles away in Breath of the Wild, and you're like, oh, I have to go see what that is. Oh, I got to go there. And it feels like such a big accomplishment when you get there, whether you're climbing or, you're kind of like riding your horse across these like mountainous plains. Like, just so many moments like that just, are just kind of pop up. Just there isn't a waypoint. There's not like a mission checklist. There's not like a I don't know. There's not some random dumb collectible there. It's just like you saw something interesting and wanted to go explore it, and it's just that a lot of times there are really cool rewards and things to find that make it worth it, but just that kind of journey alone is rewarding in and of itself in a way that not very few other open world games have ever been able to do, and it's super cool. I freaking love this game. I'm having so much fun. We're having so much fun with it. Like,
before I get to it, Josh just sent me a link for a backup battery. I actually bought a backup battery a couple days ago with my extra money I got for my late Switch order because I went to GDC last week, and I ended up having to work from my phone for a multitude of reasons because I forgot to bring my laptop like an idiot. And that is the point where I was like, put your hands down. That is the point where I was like, okay, I can get a backup battery for my phone. So I got a small one for my phone. But for the Switch, I don't know. Anyways, Zelda. God damn, this game is good. I mean, I don't know, just to rebound off of Mike, the game doesn't hold your hand in any way. Even there are certain points where you think that, okay, the game's going to hold my hand a little bit. The game just makes a suggestion where it's like, you should probably go this direction. Oh, what should I find there? You should probably go this direction. You might find what you're looking for. And then you just start tramping along that direction, and you might get fucked up along the way because, oh, you went the correct direction, but did you follow the path? No. Well, here's a bunch of bullshit that's going to just kill you.
Yeah, and I mean, a lot of past Zelda games have received criticism for their, the kind of pacing with the tutorializing, and this game is it's incredibly refreshing with how like this game just gives you some of the basic tools and kind of the starting area, and then just lets you go. Like, it's great. Like, you could go to the final boss like immediately. I think the current speed run of the game
I don't know if this is
it's right about an hour.
Right about an hour, yeah.
Is the last total I saw, which is nuts. Like, that blows my mind. That is so cool that you like. That's almost unheard of in like it's compared to any other like at least modern 3D kind of Zelda game.
Yeah.
But I guess without I really don't want to talk too much specifically just because I know Josh's.
Well,
I don't want to spoil more for Josh,
spoiler.
but
I think there's not much more we can say besides the fact that this game is just fucking excellent.
I mean, I don't think this is a spoiler to say, but once you get out of the kind of beginning area, the game's like, here's your next quest, go kill Ganondorf. You're like, the fuck?
Maybe I'll get there when I get there.
Maybe I don't know. Maybe I should go do some other stuff.
But the option is there. The game is not holding your hand. It's like, all right, figure it out.
Like,
Go
dude,
kill that motherfucker.
I mean, if you think you've got fucking game, let's see.
Sounds like somebody better get good. But I think
it's just like if every game started out and the first quest was, "Hey, beat the game, asshole."
Okay.
Well, it comes as a slap in the face, by the way. When that screen does show up, you're like, oh wow.
You're like, it's like, this really just got real. Like, oh man.
It's just supposed to be there looming over you the whole time, just saying like, you're not strong enough.
Yeah, I mean that's one of the other things I really enjoy with like the world design is, from almost every point in the on the world, like if you're climbing at the top of a mountain or in some in some valley or way off in the distance, you can still see like that big kind of swirling darkness around Hyrule Castle, like always kind of reminding you like what
the end goal is,
which is like sometimes it's super far away and then sometimes it's super close, and it feels really cool to be like, oh man, I still don't know if I'm ready for it. Like it's like the way you kind of like mentally build it up, it just adds a lot to it. Like, it's really cool. And I think one last thing I wanted to mention on this was it was a weird kind of I think interaction that really kind of, for me, explained like what I love about this game. There was one point I had a club, like a wooden club that I had lit on fire, and I think it was a fox. And if you can hunt animals in this game, and if you kill them, you get meat, which you can use to cook stuff. And I instinctively, I'm like, I get up, I run up to the fox and hit it with my club, and I go to loot the meat, and it's a seared steak, as in it's already been cooked because I hit it with my flaming club.
That's pretty good.
And just kind of like those little interactions, like, oh, I guess I wouldn't have thought that would happen, but it did, and it's hilarious that happened. Just stuff like that, like, just almost anytime you're like, can I do, like, anytime you ask yourself in this game, can I do this? Does this happen? Most of the time, it's like, yeah.
Most of the time, it works.
So I thought for some reason, I just really enjoyed that. I was like, oh, huh. Like, I guess I wasn't expecting like the system interplay there, and it was super. The game is full of that stuff, and it's always really exciting when it kind of comes together like that. It's super cool.
There was a point I stumbled across a cave. It was a skull-shaped cave, and at the very beginning of the game, you're like, this is going to be a fucked up Bagon if I walk in there. And inside is like a war chieftain bokoblin and 2 other bokoblins, and they ran after me. And the war chief was about to hit me with his, like, I didn't know at the time what that was, but it insta-killed me when he hit me with it.
Whoa.
So I died. I respawned, and I took a look at it. You get like a scope that you can use later in the game. So I looked harder, and it's a spiked club. And so I guess the spikes add like a significant amount of damage to this normal club. So I ran to another camp where I had killed bokoblins in their sleep by burning them, because this hero time don't give a fuck anymore. That's another thing. There's a day-night system in the game, and the bokoblins fall asleep at night, and you can murder them sons of bitches in their sleep by having Link sneak up to them and just stab them to death. And that feels great.
Yeah, and I guess how do we feel about a minor shrine spoiler?
I'm against it.
Okay.
The shrines are really cool.
Okay.
They're really
Never mind.
cool. So I went to that camp and I grabbed an explosive barrel, and I threw the explosive barrel into the skull cave, which killed everyone except the war chieftain. So he's running after me, pissed off, and his other like bokoblin allies, they burn to death. And can I say the burn to death animation should make the game rated T alone, because that is, it's kind of awful.
Yeah, it's kind of like horrifying. It's pretty great.
They run around. I'm describing it for Josh. They run around on fire. They're clearly like burning to death on fire, and then they just stop, and they crumble to their knees, and then they just sit there on their knees and then die. And you're like, holy!
Like,
that's pretty good. That's pretty good.
They like just accept it. That's just dark. But the bokoblin war chief is running after me. I fire 2 arrows at him, and when Link is out of arrows, he just kind of looks at his back pocket. He's like, oh, I'm out. I was like, oh shit, I'm out. So I'm throwing my items at him, and I'm out of items, and you don't want to be out of items when you're playing this game. And the very last thing I have left is like these horns that you get when you kill other enemies, and I throw a horn at him, and that kills him. And then I get the spiked war club, which does 11 damage. Which, by the way, all your weapons break in this game. I don't know if there's a Master Sword in this game, but all your weapons break. Even the ones that you can scan in via Amiibo, which you can scan in via Amiibo. All the Amiibo stuff is pretty good, too.
What was that?
I'm going to say it again, just so Mike can hear it again. I will concede the Amiibo stuff in this game is pretty cool.
Oh, huh. Interesting.
Check this out. The Wolf Link amiibo adds a wolf companion that follows you along, and that's just badass.
Oh, okay, wait a minute. That's pretty cool. Can I can I ride a wolf? Like
you can't ride the wolf, but he will attack mobs for you.
That's
and
pretty
if
great.
He dies, you just scan the amiibo again, and he comes back.
That's pretty amazing, actually. That's like so it's like D-Dog, but Zelda.
It's exactly like D-Dog.
Yes,
or
that's so
Meat.
amazing.
DD.
That's great.
That game is something else. I love it. I'm loving it so far.
I don't want to throw around. I don't want to throw around, second best Zelda lightly, but
I mean, what's first?
it's obviously the Wind Waker.
Ugh.
I mean, I'll just disagree with you on that one. That might be your honest opinion, and I just disagree with you on that.
We can't all be right.
Like Wind
It's okay.
Waker.
I understand.
Okay. The sailing got old, man.
You'll see.
Oh
the
my
light.
God,
You'll see
did
the
it
light
ever
someday,
get
my
old?
child. Someday you will see the
Sailing
light.
got old.
Some
sailing
might
was
say it's
fun.
one of the worst Zelda games.
Whoa!
I wouldn't say that.
Wait, okay. whoa.
Skyward
Okay,
Sword was
sorry.
the worst one.
At least the most boring.
What? Oh my god. Ah! It's fine. It's okay. We
It
can
had
all be-
it had its moments, but the sailing did get old.
We can all be wrong about things. It's okay.
And
We-
here's
people-
yours.
People make mistakes. It's okay.
Yeah,
I
you're
admire
making a
your
huge
love.
one right now.
It's okay.
I admire your love for this game, but I can't say it's like one of the only Zelda games I never returned back to because I don't want to sail again.
It's so bad.
Just play
it's
the HD
so
one.
bad.
Just play the HD one. It cuts down the sailing time by half.
Does it? That's
Yes.
what I keep hearing.
It does.
So it makes
very
the
nice.
game like a tenth less awful. Because that game's still awful without the sailing stuff. Like,
Can,
there's so
can we
many.
sidetrack and ask Josh, like, what do you really hate about even I'm not that caustic towards it.
Man, that game was so boring. It was so boring. And you had to
Damn.
fucking spend forever near the end game. If you didn't upgrade your goddamn wallet because you weren't focused on that shit, sailing around forever to find fucking rupees.
Wallet, Josh.
If you can't get enough fucking rupees, I shouldn't have to go fucking bobbing for apples and keep finding green rupees on the bottom of the ocean floor to fucking have enough money
Okay, well,
to
you know,
translate one.
maybe instead
map
of getting the
piece
new
and do that 8
iPhone,
times.
maybe you should have Tingle decode your charts, okay?
I did
Oh,
have
wow,
to
even
decode my chart, but the thing was I only had enough wallet
That's
space.
unreasonable
I
ass.
only had enough wallet space to have him decode one at a time. And do you know how long it took to just get enough money to fucking decode one of those things? Fucking hours. And I said, fuck
you
this
got
game.
to-
And I said, it was the first Zelda game that I never finished.
That's
Wow.
really tragic. The end game is incredible.
It's
Who
not
cares?
that great.
Who cares?
Yes,
if it takes,
it's
if
that
it
great.
takes,
It's incredible.
if it takes 8, 10, 12 hours of just like fucking bobbing for apples and hoping I can decode something, that's a bad game.
I will
What
say
did you
that
use the treasure charts?
Now, hold on.
Just
Mike.
because
You know what?
use
Yeah,
the treasure
yeah,
doesn't mean you're not
it's
going to get a
clear.
green rupee when you fucking go find it.
Even
Well, you're
Nintendo
looking at the-
agrees that the Triforce hunting missions at the end of the game were bad, and that's why they fixed that in the HD remake.
In the HD version, the HD version is the ultimate version of that game. It is the best version of that game.
It's bad.
I would recommend.
It's pretty much the only version I recommend anyone playing.
It's a bad game.
I would agree with that. It's in our busy time. I respect the time of our audience. And I would recommend that they play the HD version. It's also very gorgeous.
Or just not
is a
play it at
good-looking
all.
game. Wow.
Save yourself the time.
The only Zelda game besides the CDI ones that I would never recommend playing is Skyward Sword. Because unlike this game, Skyward Sword nose hooks you and says, "You will go this way now." Are you going this
Yeah.
way? You're wrong.
Something
Go
about being.
this
I
way
don't.
now.
Nose.
You didn't like the nose hook?
Yeah. No, I did not. I actually don't appreciate that.
Also, the tutorial for Skyward Sword is 4 hours long, and that's a problem in and of itself.
The
That tutorial is probably better than all of Wind Waker.
God
Oh
damn!
wow, man! Oh man, this is tragic. I
didn't even get to the motion controls of
I
Skyward
weep
Sword.
for you, Josh. I weep for you. That's what I
Does
really
it-
do.
I'd rather play Four Swords.
Four Swords is fun.
That's
Alright.
an okay game if you have friends.
Let's move on. Let's talk about
Final
something.
recommendation: if you have a Wii U, you should totally get Breath of the Wild. If you don't have a Switch and you're looking at Breath of the Wild, I don't know. That's up to you. I'm not going to give it a 100% recommendation, honestly.
I will say too, though, this is a good time to buy a Wii because they're getting cheaper. You can get Breath of the Wild. It runs pretty decent on Wii U, and there's all those other games right now. So you can hold out for a Switch for a little bit and get the handful of games.
Really good games.
Well, you get
if you get it cheap enough, then you get Zelda, you get Mario Maker,
Mario Kart,
Bayonetta 2,
3D
Smash Brothers,
the Mario games.
3D World, I think, is a super duper good Mario game. It's so much
3D
fun.
World is really good.
It's so
and the ending is hilarious.
For the right price,
so
the Wii U is still not a bad purchase right now.
I wouldn't buy one.
I mean, don't buy one new, but like you can find secondhand and used ones out there for pretty decent right now, and that price is just going to keep coming down over the next couple months. So it's not a bad investment if you missed out on some of those games.
In my personal opinion, the only reason you should buy a Switch right now is you don't have a Wii U and you want a new Nintendo console, and that's a perfectly reasonable reason to buy a Switch. Or B, you're extremely curious and you just have the liquid funds laying around. Or finally C, there is a Switch-only game that you swear you want to play right now. And I can't think of what that is, but maybe it exists. Oh, by the way, wasn't ARMS supposed to be a day one launch?
No.
Oh, yeah. Is that coming later?
I thought it was still kind of in the spring.
Yeah, I think it's early
window.
spring.
I mean, not that I'm going to buy it. I was just kind of curious. But that would be... I would say if most Switch owners should wait till, like, December, when there's, like, four really, really solid games for it. There'll be Zelda, then you'll have Mario, then you'll have Mario Kart, and then you'll have the... I'm sorry,
it depends on your time. Like, if you know you're going to get it now, because this is probably the best time to play Zelda, because you have time until everything else comes out. Once everything else comes out, you're going to, like, be tempted to play something else. So, like, while you have the free time, play Zelda now.
I actually don't recommend anyone gets it now with some of the, like, hardware issues that it has. I think if they're going to do revisions to that, like, just wait. Just wait for those possible revisions, or how Nintendo irons out the left Joy-Con syncing issue.
Yeah.
How they fix that. That's my personal recommendation.
It kind of sounds like you're saying if you don't already have a Switch, it might not be a bad idea to just hold off until...
Yes, exactly.
Unless you don't have a Wii U and have to play Zelda immediately.
Exactly. If you
not so much as a disparaging review of the console itself, but just as a like a wait and see for kind of kinks of the hardware.
Yeah, but I mean,
like
that's a safe bet with most day one hardware. Like
that is very.
Unless you have to be an early adopter, never buy day one hardware.
That's a pretty good rule of thumb.
There's also reports that the dock supposedly scratches the screen because of the way the dock is positioned. And when you look inside, I can believe that. Like, if you rest the dock wrong, you do run the very real risk of scratching this unprotected screen right here. So I would highly advise a screen protector for this thing. I bought one. Everyone should do that until they get that situation also kind of figured out. I don't think there is a fix for that. Yeah. Do we have anything else, my gentlemen?
Ryzen's out.
I'm sorry, was it?
The AMD Ryzen chip finally launched since we last spoke.
Yeah, let's go into the Josh Tech minute. How are the benchmarks for those looking?
So the benchmarks are really good if you're talking about multitasking stuff. If you're talking about rendering, streaming, artwork and stuff like that, it is blowing the Intel chips out of the water. Right now, they've only released their 7 series chips, which are the 8-core, 16-thread. Gaming benchmarks are so-so, and people are mixed about that for various reasons. Some people say, obviously, the single-core speed is just not up to what Intel can do, even with the overclocking you can do on the Ryzen chips, even the super unlocked ones. But other people are saying that while the AMD chips are right now slower technically for gaming, that in the next few years, the same system build right now, you're going to see the Ryzen one start to get faster, actually. The reason for that being is the PS4 and the Xbox One. Because the PS4 and the Xbox One are both AMD 8-core processors. And the last few years, game developers have been getting a lot better at developing for that 8-core processor. They haven't really done much in the PC porting because it's been a 4-core, 8-thread processor has been the high end, and a dual-core 4-thread processor has been the standard. AMD, when they release the 3 and the 5 series chips, are going to be releasing 4-core, 8-thread processors between $150 and $250. That's going to become the new standard. That's going to 4 cores and 8 threads is going to become standard, and 8 cores, 16 threads is going to become the high end. And as that shift starts to happen, as those processors get out there, the developers that have been working on this 8-core platform, as they port their games over to PC, are going to start making them better utilize multi-core functionality, because that's how they're developing their games already. Mm-hmm. So now this is not confirmed. They've been touting the multi-core gaming on PC revolution for a while now, but a lot of people are pointing this to the dual core revolution and how quickly that happened, and then the 4-core dual core, that pretty much came to be. So it's a very interesting time. Also, another interesting, processors have been hot recently. Microsoft.
What do you mean?
Microsoft announced that in their servers, they're going to start running ARM chips instead of Intel chips, or at least they're going to start, bringing in more ARM chips into their server farms. Now, while the ARM chips are not as fast as the Intel chips, they're about half as fast, but they use 1/10 of the energy. And in a cloud platform, it doesn't really matter. The reason this is important is now you've got two huge parts of Intel's business getting pressure from their server side and their consumer side. We're going to see I think we're going to see a massive drop in Intel processor prices, and maybe them finally get back on their TikTok track, push their 10 nanometer process out there, and really get back to where they were, because they kind of were resting on their laurels a little bit because nobody was competing with them. So they slowed down on their shrinking processes. They started jacking the prices up, and I don't think they're going to be able to do that anymore. They're going to be losing a lot of business.
If there's real competition out there in the processor space, that's only good news, because for the past 5 years, it's been Intel or GTFO.
Yeah, so between the Ryzen coming out and the way that's going to shake things up, and Microsoft switching to ARM-based processors in their servers, the processor game has been hot the last couple of weeks.
Now, if only someone can give NVIDIA a run for their money in the GPU department, because AMD ain't doing it yet.
AMD has done a decent job with their current Radeon line, especially in terms of the pricing. Right now, you can actually get a AMD 460, I believe, which is a good competition for a 1060 NVIDIA chip. You can get that for $150 with a copy of Doom.
Really?
Yeah. So you can get that's.
I'm skeptical when you say in competition with the 1060, because I want real world specs, not the actual on paper. I have fallen for the AMD on paper specs.
Well, the thing is, I would agree with you, but this card has been out for a while now, and there you can look online. The benchmarks they're out there, and they're pretty close, especially depending on which version of the 1060 you get with the video RAM amount, but depending on if you're in a DX11 or DX12 game as well, the AMD card has either been close to or surpassed the 1060, at least in that portion of the market, because of their DX12 utilization. And with the new Ryzen chip, they also have announced that their next generation of graphics card, I forget what they're calling it, but is going to be coming out here and getting announced pretty soon. So, they don't do as much, but the AMD cards have actually been pretty competitive with NVIDIA stuff.
Oh, real quick. We forgot to talk about this at all because Nintendo has been just... I don't know, they delivered a solid product, and I think that's important to talk about. But you, and by you I mean like Josh, but you and Mike, so all three of us sat down over last weekend and played a somewhat interesting game. It is Ghost Recon Wildlands. We played the beta of that.
Speaking of poorly optimized for any fucking processor out there,
yes.
My God,
my word.
That's some multi-core gaming if I've ever seen it. Am I right?
As in, I have to go to the store and buy another core processor because trying to run this game at a normal resolution and frame rate destroyed my first processor.
I don't need a dual core. I need dual processors.
Give me more processors.
Yeah, I'm just
gonna turn it
overclocked 6700K, and that thing was hitting my CPU for like 100%.
Yeah, that game is.
It was a real woofer.
It's got some issues.
I mean, I mean, performance.
I have complex feelings about that game.
Me too. It definitely.
I enjoyed it when we were playing it together, but when I was playing it alone, I'm like, this is a piece of shit.
Yeah, I don't think I could enjoy that game by itself.
I feel like
myself.
You either have to have four people. I mean, not to sell the game short. When we were grouped up, it was pretty fun. Like
that was fun. I think
it's also
the helicopter
you have
base.
To actively try hard to have your own fun.
Because
like
fun
at
with
one
that
point
game.
Ray was like flying a helicopter and I'm like sniping guys from the helicopter at night. I'm like, okay, this is kind of cool. Like
no, that was Josh.
Then I put C4. I mean, sorry, armor on the helicopter to make sure that it was safe.
Reactive armory that you called.
And tried to do the Battlefield thing of flying the helicopter in and using it as a missile. So that was fun.
Yeah, it's just. I mean, I did play a tiny bit of it by myself, and it's
that game is really, unfortunately, there's opportunity to have fun with that game, but that game's also really tone deaf, especially if you're talking about playing by yourself.
Yes, it is. It's oh my god! Like if we can we have a tone deaf game of the year award at the end of the year because we have a hilariously tone deaf front runner that needs to win this game,
especially because you can't tell if they're playing it super serious or if it's supposed to be like slightly satirical or a weird commentary on the drug war and
it's not,
American militarism.
You are giving that game way too much credit.
Yeah, and that's the point.
That's the thing is you can't really tell because the game just doesn't seem to ever find its voice.
It tries to do both, but
this is not Spec Ops: The Line, all right. This is a Ubisoft
Spec
game.
Ops: The Line is hammy anyway. It's I mean, it's a like Josh, you were saying, it tries to be like a haha funny. It's like, oh, we're cracking military jokes, and oh, we're gonna joke about waterboarding,
saying shitballs,
and fuck
as the
sticks.
resident
It's
veteran,
who wrote this?
Those were the worst military jokes I've ever heard.
It's
like you think your grandpa tells us military jokes.
Yeah, it's on one hand it's that, but on the other hand it's like, oh, we're gonna have some super serious commentary about how Bolivia, which is actually a perfectly fine South American country, is actually just a drug war hellhole, and it's totally okay for judge, jury, executioner, CIA operatives to go in and run rampant. Because drugs, it's just wait, okay,
drugs.
I mean, I know it's a damn video game, and I can suspend some disbelief, but what the, damn, come on, it's weird.
Oh god, the voice acting in that game.
Oh, it's awful. And and I know the video games are a little different, but as somebody who reads Tom Clancy stuff and has been a fan of that name very much evokes a certain tone automatically. And this game does not come anywhere close to that. At
I
least
think Ubisoft is just using the word Tom Clancy at the top of their game for military shooter of some type.
Yes,
which is a shame.
Like there's definitely like a sophistication that used to go with like Tom Clancy from like Hunt for Red October and things like Rainbow Six, where you're like
or like
planning out
the original Ghost Recons.
That is just completely absent from this game. Like what this game should have been. It feels like this game they really should have just gone Just Cause,
the real version.
Just give me like Just Cause, give me mercenaries, like make up some clearly fake country, like just ham it up, like. But this weird kind of like tiptoeing in both, like it's kind of
and I'm not saying that there's not room for a game to explore that intricacy, but it's you gotta go one way or the other. You have to pick a side, not pick a side on like drugs are bad or the American military conflicts is bad, but like pick the way you're going to talk about it. Pick the way you're going to display that. Fun. I don't know if you guys saw it too. Bolivia is actually suing France over this game. Because,
oh no, I did not see that.
Because of the way that it portrays the country. They were telling something about they were pursuing stuff against Ubisoft, and if that wasn't going to work, they were going to sue France. So,
well, damn. I mean,
international relationship experts, Ubisoft.
It's a diverse team.
This game was developed by a diverse team of many religious backgrounds.
That's why it's okay for the Pope to actually be like some crazy alien worshipping Templar guy. That's why it's okay. Don't worry, folks. It's okay. Multiple cultures do all this. It's all right.
I can see that game even if you're like co-op, because that game really, really, really wants you to play co-op. Like, it keeps beeping that reminder to go play co-op. Don't play this by yourself. Maybe because they know this game is fucked if you play it by yourself. It's just not fun at all. But I don't want to constantly play with a bunch of randos, number one. And number two, this game, even co-op, like, there is a cliff where it's like, hey, I'm not having fun with this anymore. And it's like right at the 45-minute to hour point. You're like, I think I want to go play Tetris.
At a certain point, it definitely kind of becomes like, it kind of has like
missions are the same.
It kind of has like a Far Cry kind of, we're gonna spot the guys and go in and take them out, but it doesn't have. I feel like it did, at least in the time that we had messed around with it in the beta, it didn't really do enough to kind of change that up. I mean, you're doing it in different areas. It's slightly larger. There's slightly more guys, but it never felt like it did enough to expand on that, like the way Far Cry kind of does, or like Metal Gear Solid 5 would do, for example. Which kind of on a very surface level are kind of similar kind of type encounters you're dealing with. So, I always have a hard time like thinking about games in a way that like I think there's more to what we do and how we talk about games than just like consumer reports, kind of, this fridge is good, this fridge is bad, kind of thing. Mm-hmm. But I don't know how I feel about spending like, if you're gonna be playing this game single player, I feel like this would be not a great game to purchase at full price. Like, not even I think like this, I might pick this one up on like a Steam sale at some point, but I think just the not at all engaging or fun kind of single player experience of it, plus like the weird right wing power fantasy.
It's got a lot of that.
It's just all that stuff just kind of adds up to like, man, I don't know how I feel about this, but it's always good for open world hijinks are always a good time. But I feel like it's not even that fun
because the missions never go beyond like sneak into this location and kill everyone. We played together like 8 missions, and none of the missions were different than that.
Yeah. So that's I feel like I appreciated the open world hijinks we did have in that game.
Also, they should really sell a 4-pack of that game. Like, it's almost a disservice to that game that they're not selling a 4-pack. Like, buy this with your mates and get a slight discount so everybody has a copy kind of thing. Like,
but you can't. But if you buy the 4-pack, then you're not buying the $100 platinum edition. Like, fuck, that's horrible. Why would you?
Pretty bad.
Oh man. Oof.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's yeah.
Yeah, it's bad.
Huh.
But yeah,
I think we can go ahead and wrap it up on that sour note.
Might still get that. On a real quick, going back, if you are interested in the Radeon RX 480 deal through Newegg, that deal to get a graphics card with a free copy of Doom goes through May 21st. So if you are interested, head on over to Newegg, pick up your card and your game, because it's a real good game. So can't go wrong with getting a free copy of Doom.
Did you finally beat that game?
I did. That's like the only game I've played in the last couple of weeks. I've been pretty busy. Can I just say, a little spoilery?
I mean, the game's been out a year, and so don't be too spoilery. But go ahead.
I'm not the villain of this story. Okay, sure, that's something normal people say.
Listen, I'm not the bad guy. I'm the good guy. And you, Mr. Doomslayer, should believe me.
You're definitely not gonna see me in the next Doom game. Like, that's not gonna happen. No.
Bethesda needs to just hurry up. It's been a year. They need to just say whether it's happening or not.
I mean, there's no way it's not happening.
Come on, Bethesda, don't let me down. Is it happening or not?
Now, it may take 10 years for you to come out, but
someday.
I don't care if they come out and say new Doom in 2019. Oh, that's fine. Take your time with it. Just, is it happening or not? That's all I want to know.
You know how you could really make sure that you stay current, though, on whether or not they're going to do something? It's by following them on social media. You know who else you can follow on social media? Unscripted Gaming. You can subscribe to us on YouTube. You can like us at Facebook at Unscripted Gaming. You can follow us on Twitter at unscript_gaming. You can also get us on SoundCloud at soundcloud.com/unscripted-gaming. You can find us on iTunes, Google Play, Pocket Cast, Stitcher, anywhere where you listen to podcasts. Get us in your earballs. We'll
be there.
Yeah. You fucking liked that transition, and you know it.
That transition, there are intercontinental ballistic missiles that have less of a lead time than that transition. Anyways, I think that's about it.
Yeah, I think we should wrap this sucker up. Thanks for listening to Unscripted Gaming. I'm Josh.
I'm Mike.
I'm Ray.
Peace.